At the end of this video lesson, the learner will be able to perform the operations on rational numbers, specifically on fractions. Again, when we say rational numbers, these are numbers that can be written in the form a over b, or as a fraction, wherein the denominator should not be equal to 0. So let's focus first on how to add or subtract fractions. Dito, we have two ways to do that dahil depende ito sa given. The first one is about similar fractions. Kapag sinabing similar fractions, these are fractions that have the same denominator, just like the given here. So let's follow the following steps. Add or subtract the numerator and copy the common denominator. So simple lang. I-add daw natin yung numerator. So sa number 1, 1 plus 3, 4, and then copy the common denominator, which is 4. Always express the answer in simplest form. So here we can divide 4 divided by 4, so the answer here is 1. Number 2, 7 over 10 minus 2 over 10. They have the common denominator 10, so we copy that and subtract the numerators. 7 minus 2 is 5. Here we have 5 over 10, but it can still be rewritten in simplest form. Recall that to simplify fractions, we need to find the greatest common factor, or the GCF, and divide it to the numerator and denominator. Here, the GCF of 5 and 10 is 5 because both of them can be divided by 5, so that it will become the simplest form, 1/2. Number 3, a mixed number plus 2 over 7, but still they are similar fractions because they both have the same denominator. We will still follow the instruction. Add or subtract the numerator, 1 plus 2, 3, and copy the denominator. And of course, don't forget to add the whole numbers. 5 plus 0 is 5. So we'll have here 5 and 3 over 7. Let's have dissimilar fractions. Kapag sinabing dissimilar fractions, they have different denominators. And here, we also have different way on how to do that. First is to get their LCD, or least common denominator, to make them equivalent or similar fractions. Then proceed to the rule of adding and subtracting similar fractions. When we say LCD, what is the least number na kayang mag-divide doon sa dalawang given? Here, we have 4. So here, we divide and multiply. 4 divided by 4 is 1 times 3, 3. Copy the operation. 4 divided by 2 is 2 times 1, that's 2. And since we now have similar fractions, we add the numerator and copy the denominator. This one can be the final answer, or it can be rewritten as mixed fraction. 5 divided by 4 is 1, remainder 1. So that will be 1 and 1/4. Number 2, what is the LCD of 10 and 3? Anong makaka-divide sa 10 at sa 3? 30. So we follow divide. 30 divided by 10, 3 times 7, 21, minus 30 divided by 3, 10 times 2, 20. So we have similar fractions. Subtract the numerators and copy the denominator. Here we have 1 over 30. Number 3, 5 and 1/4 plus 2/5. Kapag ganito, it's better to rewrite first the mixed fraction into improper fraction. So we can have 5 times 4 plus 1. That's 21 over 4 plus 2 over 5. So let's find first the least common denominator. So that is 20. Divide and multiply. 20 divided by 4 is 5 times 21, 105, plus 20 divided by 5 is 4 times 2, 8. 105 plus 8 is 113 over 20. So that is the answer, or you can rewrite it as mixed number equal to 5 and 13 over 20. Let's have more examples. Number 1, negative 3/4 plus 1/4. So kahit negative pa yan, let's follow the rule in adding positive and negative numbers. They are similar fractions, therefore we copy the denominator and add the numerators. But here we have negative 3 plus 1. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2 over 4. Simplify if possible. This will be equal to negative 1/2. Number 2, 8 over 10 minus the quantity negative 2 over 10. Still, we have similar fractions. Since the given have positive and negative values, we can follow the rule first, copy, change, and then proceed to the rule of fractions. Here, copy the denominator and add the numerators. 8 plus 2, that's 10 over 10. That is equal to 1. Number 3, 5 and 1/6 minus 2 and 2/6. Kapag ganito, we can rewrite the fraction first into improper fraction. 6 times 5, 30 plus 1. This is 31 over 6 minus 6 times 2, 12 plus 2, 14 over 6. So here, 31 minus 14 is 17 over 6. This can also be written as 2 and 5 over 6. And last, we have negative 3 and 5/6 plus 2 and 7 over 18. Again, let us rewrite the fractions into improper fraction. So here, 6 times 3, 18 plus 5. So that's 23 over 6. We copy the sign. Plus 18 times 2 is 36 plus 7, 43 over 6. So here we add the numerators. Negative 23 plus 43. So this one is positive 20 over 6. And 20 over 6 can also be rewritten as 10 over 3 or 3 and 1/3. So that's how we add and subtract fractions. Let's move to multiplication of fractions. Here we have two methods. The first one is simply get the product of the numerators over the product of the denominators. So, i-multiply lang kung ano yung nasa numerator over doon sa denominator. While method 2 is to simplify first the fraction by getting its factor, then get the product of the remaining numerators over the product of the denominators. So let's have this. 1/4 times 2 over 9. So multiply the numerators over the product of the denominators. So this one is 36. Simplify if possible. What number can divide the numerator and then the denominator? That's 2. So here we can have 1 over 18. Number 2, we have a whole number multiplied to a fraction. The whole number can also be rewritten as fraction wherein the denominator is equal to 1. So here, let's multiply. Negative 5 times negative 4. This one is positive 20. 1 times 6 is 6. And simplify if possible. This can be divided by 2. So this one can be 10 over 3. Number 3, 3 and 2/3 times negative 3 over 5. If we have a mixed number, change it first to improper fraction. So change it first by multiplying and adding. 3 times 3, 9 plus 2, 11 over 3 times negative 3/5. So here, negative 33 over 15. Simplify if possible. So both can be divided by 3 and we'll have negative 11 over 5 or negative 2 and 1/5. So as you notice, ginamit muna natin yung method 1 pero yung method 2 ay magagamit natin especially kapag masyadong matataas yung given integers. So here, ginamit muna natin yung method 1 wherein we multiply the numerator by numerator over denominator times denominator. Pero method 2 can be used kapag may mga common factors between numerator and denominator. For example, sa number 3. Notice that we have 11 over 3 and negative 3 over 5. Here we have the common factor of the numerator and denominator equal to 3. We can cancel this one and put 1 here because 3 divided by 3 is 1, and then multiply the remaining numerators. 11 times negative 1 is negative 11. 1 times 5 is 5. And you will have the same answer. So, pwede nating unahin na i-simplify muna yung fraction before tayo mag-multiply. Ganun din sa number 2, 4 over 6, have the factors 2 times 2, while here is 2 times 3. So, we can divide 2 divided by 2, that's 1, so that the remaining is 2 over 3. Negative 5 times 2 is 10 over 1 times 3, that's 3. That will still be 10/3 or 3 and 1/3. Okay? And the last one is about division. Here, we follow the following steps. Copy the first fraction, get the reciprocal of the second fraction, then proceed to the multiplication. Simplify if needed. So let's follow the instructions. Copy the first fraction, which is 2 over 5. Next, get the reciprocal of the second fraction. The reciprocal is 7 over 6. And then proceed to multiplication. So 2 times 7, that's 14. And 5 times 6, that's 30. Simplify if needed. So the GCF here is 2. It will become 7 over 15. Or again, pwede pa rin natin itong gamitan ng method 2 na diniscuss natin a while ago, wherein we can factor the numerator and then the denominator. 6 can be factored as 2 times 3, and then we can cancel the common factors. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so ang matitira na lang ay 3. So 1 times 7, 7. 5 times 3, that's 15. Another example, negative 5 over 6 divided by 4. Copy the first fraction, negative 5 over 6, and then get the reciprocal of the second fraction, which is 4. The reciprocal of 4 is 1/4. And then proceed to the rule of multiplication. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5. 6 times 4 is 24. And this is already in simplest form. And number 3, 5 and 1/4 divided by 2/5. Again, we have a mixed number, so we change it first into an improper fraction. 4 times 5, 20 plus 1. That's 21 over 4. We copy that times the reciprocal of the second fraction. The reciprocal of 2/5 is 5 over 2. And then proceed to the rule of multiplication. So here, we'll have 105 over 8. So they don't have a common factor, but we can rewrite it as mixed number equal to 13 and 1/8. So let's summarize the rules in operations on fractions by solving the following. Number 1, negative 5 over 12 plus 1 over 12. Here we have similar fractions wherein we simply add or subtract the numerators and copy the denominator. Negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4. And copy the denominator. Simplify if possible. What number can divide 4 and 12? That's 4. So this will become negative 1/3. Number 2, 9 over 15 minus 2/5. Notice that we have the similar fractions. So we need to find first the LCD, or the least common denominator or number that can divide 15 and 5. So we'll have 15. So 15 divided by 15 times 9, that's 9. Minus 15 divided by 5, 3 times 2, that's 6. And then subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3, and copy the common denominator. Simplify if possible. So the GCF here is 3. So this one is 1/5. Number 3, that is multiplication of fraction. So here we will write first the mixed fraction into improper one. So 5 times 1, that's 5, plus 3, that is 8 over 5, times 2 over 6. You can multiply the numerators directly. 8 times 2, 16 over 30. And then simplify if possible. The greatest number that can divide them is 2. So this will become 8 over 15. Or another method is by getting their common factors, wherein ang common factor ng 8 ay 2, wherein the factors of 8 are 2 times 4, while the factors of 6 are 2 times 3. Ang common factor ay 2. So here we can have 4 times 2, 8, and 5 times 3 is 15. We'll have the same answer. And lastly, division. Let's rewrite first the given fraction into improper fraction. 6 times 3, that's 18, plus 1, that is 19. So here, 6 times 3 is 18 plus 1, that's 19 over 6. We copy the negative sign, divided by 4. So in dividing, we copy the first fraction and multiply it to the reciprocal of the second fraction. The reciprocal of 4 is 1/4. So here, proceed to the rule of multiplication. Negative 19 times 1 is negative 19 over 24. This is already the simplest form. I hope nakatulong yon to review on how to do the operations on fractions. Sa ating next video, panoorin naman ang operations on decimals. Thank you!